Hello all, and welcome to round 2 of the colon 3 versus killings is just a mean of I'm gonna try that again. Hello all, and welcome to round 2 of colon 3 versus killing is just a means of communication. We are on Blood Moon now. Colon 3 won the last one on Valley, bringing it to 1-0 in their favor. Teams have swapped sides, and now colon 3 is on ANS, and KJMC is on OSP here. Colon 3 being Tavi, Internets, Natasha, and Hive Gender. KJMC being Rex, Chopsticks, Sigstack, and Lost Leviathan. Lots of ships on both sides so far here. Let's take a look at where they're deploying initially. Looks like KJMC is deploying pretty heavy centers so far, whereas colon 3 deploying heavily on all of the cap points and nowhere else. Looks like we have a couple assets going for the B side here. We have quite a few ships going for A. Normally we see the fight on B on this map. Interesting. Wow, that was really fast. Both sides ready very quickly here. We get to zoom in on a 450 Axford with Mark 62 sidearms here. I believe that's another Mark 62 on the side there. That could be flak though. We'll have to see when we load in here. Let's take a look at the teams. Oh, we just know immediately. All right. First up, Tavi is bringing the double Axford here. We have a what's the radar on these? Spyglass on one, not track correlated. On the other one, I am clicking everywhere but where I should be. That is flak. All right, nice to see. The other one has a Parallax, there it is, in a spot that I wasn't expecting it to be. Pretty standard double Axford fleet build here, one with comms jamming. Radar double whip. Ooh. Normally you see double radar, interesting. One of them has the comms jammer and the other one has the VLS-2 with some not SDMs. Those are S2s. I'm assuming those could be breadsticks potentially. We will see what those are later on. Hive, bringing a carrier again. We have a single levy escorted by two of these support ships. One of them being a scout range with Spyglass, Pinard, VLS-2 with some Naganatas, love to see it. And a cap asset with a Pinard, very nice to see. A mix of some bombers here, as well as some various Tonto variants. We will see what those are later on. Internets has a pit boss. We have a 250 Axford here with the 120 sidearms. Very good for denying cap points against light assets here. Going to the B point. Nothing to defend against. B point is yours, ANS, don't worry. They also have air defense brick, I'm assuming, with a gun. Yep, you have some VLS-2s there with some, oh, never mind. This is their, strange mix of, S2 Aishas. Ignore the names. The names make perfect sense, apparently. And it looks like we have various cap assets around the map. Some gun cappers. And, yep, all gun cappers. Very nice to see. Natasha's running a triple CL. Natasha does work with triple CLs. We have Spyglass. I'm assuming Parallax? No, Frontline. Do you have a Parallax? You do. Frontline Parallax Spyglass with Flash Raider, very standard. They are already engaging the ships going to the A point here. Chopsticks with a cap fleet, sending some ships to cap the A point here. These two diving for cover as they realize what they've run into. 3 voxels are not what you want to see on OSP here, trying to take the A point here, as it looks like Natasha's going to deny the A point pretty effectively with those voxels here. Around the map, we also have Hive taking the C point with their cap ship. Sigstack's Cringe Kappa realizing that it cannot contest this point, diving into cover, trying to get out of there. No contest on the B point here. ANS secures E very handily. Missiles out on these fleeing ships here from Strider Squadron. These are S2s. SAR H Command Val. Illuminators from Dagger Squadron, making sure that those missiles find their way home. As that hits into both of them, knocks out the drives on both. Those were sun drives, very fragile. colon 3 with a very excellent display of cap denial here. completely crippling and destroying all the assets on A point here. A point will go to them. Onto KJMC here. Chopsticks is running in a Cello Dad fleet, it looks like. Various cap assets around the map. We already saw these 3 cap assets get destroyed on the A point here. Looks like they have another wing of 3 on the E point here. Very interesting. These are guns and rockets. Mixture of both. Very, very deadly. This is Cello moving in to looks like it's maybe trying to engage these voxels here. Get revenge for losing the cap assets. Lost Leviathan playing a fleet carrier on Steam Deck. How do they do it, folks? I cannot imagine that's fun at all. Lots of claymores, lots of... Wait, claymores and tontos? That doesn't seem right. I nearly completely glossed over that. A little bit of deception here, as the craft are named the opposite of what they should be. And by opposite, I mean they're named after the ANS craft here. Rex with, this is Titanium Overture and Tungsten Crescendo. This is Cobalt, I believe. It is the starter fleet for, one of the starter fleets for OSP. Double Cello, very strong, very reliable. It is just going out into the middle of the point here. Rounding out KJMC, Sigstack has the monitor ball here. All C90s as well. No, it does have an Cello escort. One bad egg is trying to escort them, taking fire from the voxels. Bombshells go out from the monitors into this into these voxels here. Those bombshells will not pin the armor of these things. You need to be firing Hesh at these ships. Stepping back after we looked at all the fleets, taking a quick step back, looking at the state of the board right now. ANS with the 4 cap initially. That is rough for KJMC. Unable to get a break on the cap war here. Although they are rushing this squadron of 3 shuttles onto the deep point here. Not a whole lot to guard it, just to this sprinter here. Though that swarm should be more than enough to deal with that. They have left the B point completely open for ANS to just take here with just a single sprinter. The pit boss, however, because of that, is a little bit out of position here. Nothing for it to engage in the area. Although the engagement seems to be happening on A point, you really do not see this a whole lot on Blood Moon. Normally it's the B point that we see this massive engagement on, as the monitors and Acellos start trading shots with the voxels here. Auroras go out, defending the strike. Whoa, that's a lot of anti-craft missiles onto Dagger Squadron, as Dagger Squadron just gets removed from the map by Hive's aircraft. Very, very excellent ambush from them. Carnage Squadron comes over the map here, drops a bunch of torpedoes into this formation here. Chopsticks needs to battle short those Auroras, making sure those torpedoes get shot down. One torpedo hit into one of the monitors, making it very orange, but not really removing it from the match. However, Natasha recognizes that is the ship that they need to focus fire on. Yep, locking it, making sure that it does not recover from its injuries. The monitors in Acello still putting fire down on these voxels here, taking very minimal damage. The drive setup on these voxels allows them to orbit dodge quite well, dodging most incoming fire, though it looks like they're positioning themselves close to the rock here, able to duck behind cover at a moment's notice if they need to. Starter fleet dealing with these Axfords up top here, as Dropkick Squadron is an 100mm bomber squadron. This is not what you want to have next to these Axfords. I got excited. Yeah, these ships will not do much to these Axfords at all. They are also completely out of ammo. These things need to return to base and rearm with some anti-Axford equipment immediately. A point is only really being held by these voxels here. If these monitors and the Acello decide to push onto A point here, they can probably take it, as it looks like they are already. Chopsticks recognizing that they need to take this point here. They are being escorted. Rocket Strike! Rocket Strike on the carrier! Hivegender gets rocket struck, loses their carrier. Oh no, all the pads are gone. One restore. This carrier is mission killed. And with one fell strike, Chopsticks completely flips the script on this match, taking out a priority asset in the backline. Oh no, this carrier will no longer be able to rearm or relaunch strikes. That is unfortunate for Hive, is that that asset is just gone entirely.
The enemy is securing Zone Atlas.
Lost Leviathan needs to take advantage of this. They have complete air control now that that carrier is out of the picture. They need to press their advantage. The Acello's doing really good on their engagement with these Axfords taking minimal damage. The Axfords, in turn, taking quite a lot of fire. Only one Raider drive, not able to orbit dodge as well as the double. This turret on the bottom nearly going down already. Although they do swap fire to the Acello here, recognizing that they do need to deny the point here. The Acello is not bow tanking those Axfords. Those Axfords recognizing it, firing HE into the side of the Acello. Not what you want to see. The Voxels have completely pulled back from the A point, recognizing that they do not want to take that engagement with the Monitors. The Monitors will be more than a match from those Acellos for those Voxels at close range. Natasha relying on the Axfords to really deny the point here. A point goes into the hands of OSP here as they push forward onto it with their front line. Their frontline push much more effective this match. They also took the sneaky back cap of D, although there is nothing to prevent ANS from retaking it. ANS needs to start getting assets onto the other cap points. They do not have much assets in the area. The Voxels finding priority targets as they find the broadside starter fleet over here run by Rex, able to get fire into the broadside where the shells will start dealing damage. That being said, that is a lot of fire going into these Axfords here. They do stop firing at the already damaged one, electing to fire at the other one. A little bit of a misplay here that's going to let this Axford restore and start repairing things while the other starts absorbing damage instead. Chopsticks is nearly completely out of cap assets, unfortunately, losing most of them to the rocket strike against the carrier and in the attempt to take the A point here. Butcher Squadron, another 100 mil squadron just patrolling up here. Potentially maybe looking to take out this Sprinter up here and open it up for a cap. But ANS doesn't have any, or sorry, OSP doesn't have any assets up there to really take it. Closest that they have is this Acello fleet, which is just hanging around the center of the map. This Acello fleet should definitely start pushing up to the top, though, if they want to get that cap point. They definitely need the caps at this point. The Voxels have found the Monitors, which are not looking in the right direction, able to start getting shots into the undersides of these ships here. Not doing a whole lot of damage. Monitors have a lot of armor and are able to absorb quite a bit of fire. Instead, elect to put fire down on these Axfords here. These Axfords taking quite a lot of damage, as these Monitors just push quite aggressively into the Axfords here, completely ignoring the Voxels. OSP focus firing quite well as they decide to just select a single target and just lay into it. ANS loses the track of these Axfords here, allowing them to withdraw. The Voxels pushed very far back outside of the map here. Nova Squadron was the Torpedo Squadron. They were trying to jump on these Axfords here. They're taking a lot of Sarissa fire. Already lost 2 of their numbers. They're pounced on by Rebel Squadron, looking to clean up the rest of these bombers before they get these torps out. Leviathan with no fighter escort as these things just try to push forward as aggressively as possible and getting chewed up in the process. Torpedoes out at long range against these Axfords. One of the bombers unable to launch both of theirs. These are command primary, and without target locks, these could miss. Although the Acellos are providing target lock. 2 of them veering off to go for the wrong target, as 3 of them go into the correct one. All 3 of them hitting, redding out this Axford quite substantially. The other ones get shot down before they reach the target. OSP needs to focus on this Axford here, make sure it's unable to recover, although with 6 restores, this Axford is still completely recoverable. Radar Drive does have a crit on it, although that is a reactor overload. There are no debuffs to repair speed. That drive will get repaired in time. Monitors swap fire to the voxels here, as it looks like. So do the Acellos here. As the Acellos correctly deciding that they need to push up onto C immediately. Butcher Squadron manages to clean up this, not that one. Where's the camp asset that was up here? Oh, it's just completely left. It's just heading into... Oh, no. Have they found the fleet carrier? Oh, no. This Sprinter found Leviathan's fleet carrier. Leviathan's just out in the open here. Bullfrog Squadron as well. Yep, Bullfrog Squadron. Oh, nope, they're out of ammo. Huh. Bullfrog Squadron. I think they were just unable to rearm on the carrier. E-point being secured by ANS here as they get the cheeky little back cap on their natural. Not what you want to see. We've had some impressive plays from KJMC. Unfortunately, they've just been unable to hold the cap points here. They managed to mess up one of the voxels a little bit. Only 1 restore to bring things back online, but this voxel is still fully combat effective. Did the monitors split up? One of the monitors splitting up to go for C. OSP just has no map presence here. They managed to pretty heavily beat up Colon 3's frontline, but they were just unable to capitalize on it. They have no assets anywhere on the map to take points. Missiles out on the carrier. These are S2HE. Not a whole lot of damage. This carrier is still able to be repaired. This is the ship that was spotting the carrier. More missiles programmed. Internets has found the carrier and is making sure that it does not survive. Excellent flank around the map from them. Able to put this priority sensor asset in the back line. Able to detect priority assets. And this is what bringing no sensor assets does to you. As, does this have a gun on it? Was this carrier firing back? This carrier has T-30s on it. This carrier's got hands as it returns fire against the Sprinter here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the PD it needs to take out these missiles here, as more of the missiles land on the carrier. Sniping the bulk mag. Starting a crit in there as well. This carrier is no longer able to rearm its craft until it gets that restored. Drive goes down as this carrier is completely vulnerable in the backline here. R1 rocket strike launched from the carrier and just immediately starts firing on this this Sprinter here. Nightshade launched without munitions. Interesting. Oh wait, were those? That was a spearfish strike against this this Sprinter here. Interesting. The Axfords using their superior range to just lay down fire into these monitors here. The monitor is unable to really do much other than just hug the point. The Acellos have managed to go through the center of the rock here. Looks like they're trying to secure the C point. Dagger being secured by OSP here as one of the remaining rocket ships gets on. This thing still has rockets. This thing can still deny the defense of the cap point. The carrier here, 2 restores, lost some of the hangars. Very unfortunate. This ship here out of offensive missiles. The last offensive missiles being, I believe, arming missiles and SDMs, yeah. This carrier without a magazine is completely unable to use that T-30. Also completely unable to rearm strike, so this ship is just going to eat away at it. The monitor's pushing up from A, trying to get onto the Axfords here and support the Acellos. Although in the process, they're leaving the A point completely open to a back cap here. Pit Boss has found the D capper, and Pit Boss is going to ensure that ANS is going to be able to resecure the D point pretty much immediately here. The Acellos engaging the Axfords up top here managed to knock pretty much defang one of them. However, with fire support from the Voxels and the other Axford, I don't think these Acellos are gonna be able to hold this point for forever. The monitors are pushing up, but it's going to be a while until they get there. Monitors being super slow. And yeah, they've just completely left this open for a back cap. Cyclone Squadron manages to get a rocket strike on this ship here. They fired from extremely long range, and most of those miss. This carrier that OSP has is just entirely defanged in the backline here. Unable to get this single sprinter off of it. One of the Acellos losing its mag. Unable to fight back as the Voxels find an optimal angle to put fire down range, as this thing is just going to get torn apart by the crossfire. The other one is still combat effective, although with how many assets that ANS has up here, I do not think that it's going to be living for long. OSP just didn't have the cap assets or cap defense equipment to really defend this, as D point goes back into the hands of ANS, and A point will also go back into the hands of ANS in short order here, as Internet has a spare sprinter in the back there it can use to get a back cap. The Voxels switching to the healthy Acello, recognizing that the other one is combat incapable. Knocks out the CIC in this one here. Unfortunate, as these Acellos, both of them... Oh, one of them gets its magazine back online. C point being secured by ANS here as they force the Acellos off the point. This carrier still being hounded by this single sprinter. One of the Acellos moving on to the D point here, look like trying to take it. Pit Boss has something to say about that, putting fire down range. That is 250 AP, so it definitely does know what this ship is at this point. With that being said, that's 100 mil HE, isn't it? Perhaps thinking that this is a cap ship, not using the correct ammo types. The Acellos up top, pretty well dealt with already. They are both combat ineffective. One of them CIC down, and both of them without any magazines. The monitors here do find the Axfords at close range, although unfortunately they are probably too little too late to really affect this frontline engagement, as the other frontline fleet has been just completely annihilated here. A point being resecured by ANS here as the backcapper takes the point, putting some supporting fire into the fleet carrier. Fleet carrier does get its magazine back online, and it starts putting fire into this this sprinter here, trying to defend it, trying to get the sprinter off of it so it can begin launching strikes again. Should be noted that, yeah, this sprinter is completely out of defender ammo, firing at all the craft launching from the fleet carrier. The Acello still attempting to move onto the D point here. Starts getting crossfired by one of Natasha's Voxels here as it moves down to help the Pit Boss defend the point. This Acello is broadside to the Voxel, so that that 250 AP will bite. OSP managing to hold on to the C point here. The Acello's deciding to stay on the point a little bit longer. The monitors rush over the top here, putting 100 mil plasma and 600 mil into them at close range. They might win the fight against these Angstfords here, although I think they are just too late to really alter the frontline engagement. ANS's fleet carrier withdrew. Realizing that it was completely combat incapable, deciding to avoid the shame of being K-killed and just withdrawing before it can get struck again. I wish I would have gotten a clip of that. That would have been hilarious. Of the remaining crippled monitors from OSP trying to limp onto the B point here. There is nothing defending it, but these monitors with a 2777 are incredibly slow. Yeah, that's 13 meters per second. That thing is not getting there anytime soon. Meanwhile, the rest of ANS or OSP's assets up here are just getting picked apart by the crossfire from the Axfords and Voxels. Dagger being secured by the Acello as it does manage to get on point. The pit boss rushing in to try and contest, though. Looks like it will get onto the point before the Acello finishes the cap. We have a close-range duel here between a pit boss and an already slightly damaged Acello here. Very interesting. This match is going to be... This duel is going to be very anemic, as neither side really has the damage it needs to take out the other. Pit boss starting to take some damage to the top of the ship, although... Yeah, it's not a whole lot of damage. The other Voxel diving down on here to try and assist with the pit boss's efforts to clear the D point. Natasha just has free reign here to just pump fire into these monitors here. Damage, although it's not a lot with that many 250 barrels, it is going to start adding up here. The Axfords are pretty cooked, although they did their job. They will stay on the C point for a while here. Fleet Carrier managed to take out this Sprinter here that was annoying it for the entire match. Unfortunately, there is a second Sprinter over here, which is just spotting this thing. Also spotting it, likely, is the Spyglass ship up here. Yeah, a lot more happened this match than the last one, but unfortunately it's still a whole lot of the same story. KJMC was unable to really contest the caps in either match. Colon 3 was just able to take the points and just dictate the entire fight. KJMC was just forced to divert their assets to various places where they didn't want to be. And, yeah. Colon 3 was just able to force KJMC to move around the map, be in the worst possible places. Leviathan's Fleet Carrier moving on to E, trying to retake the point here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to arrive in time. D-point battle here, as Pit Boss has taken pretty much no damage. The supporting fire from the Voxel hurting this Acello quite a lot. Chewing up the front, chewing up the buff modules. Yeah, this poor Acello here is not going to be securing the point here. Although torpedoes out from one of Leviathan's bomber squadrons. Land hits into Pit Boss, taking out the magazine. Pit Boss, it got magged. It has no offensive capability. Or rather, it does, because the jamming counts, I think. Why do you not... Do you have an arming missile? You do have an arming missile. That's why you're still combat effective. Leviathan not out of this fight yet, as they do get a strike through. Although that being said, the Voxels have found the Fleet Carrier. This Moorline is going to go down here pretty quickly under 250 HE fire. And that's with 900 points on the board. OSP's assets are scattered around the map in places that don't really matter. They do not have the assets they need to retake any of the points here. As it looks like KJMC is perhaps calling it here, recognizing that unfortunately this match just wasn't it. The cap play was too strong for them and they were unable to hold any of the points, as Colon 3 was just able to just continuously back cap KJMC for the entire match. And that is a Colon 3 win. As, yeah, KJMC, it looks like they're going to start surrendering here. Very excellent performance from Colon 3 in these two rounds here. Back-to-back victories. They are going to move on in the tournament. Colon 3 admitting that, yeah, they did take quite significant damage to their frontline fleets this match. These Axfords are just nearly completely defanged. The Voxels took quite a pounding as well. But unfortunately, it wasn't the frontline engagement that really mattered this game. It was all those back caps from Internet spaceships that managed to secure this one for him. Yeah, and that's official. 2-0, Colon 3 moves on with two really good cap matches there. We are going to Peanut Gallery to debrief. We are missing...
No one.
Are we all here? Oh, we're all here. Okay.
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4,
Oh my god.
9. Yeah, that's
Yep,
right.
there should be 9 including me. So we are all here, I believe.
My hands
First
were
time I
starting to
counted, I
cramp.
counted 10, and I was like, what?
Very, very excellent cap plays from Colon 3, both matches. Just continuously able to back cap KJMC both rounds.
Maybe I should have played caps instead.
On a Steam Deck, that sounds like a nightmare.
Honestly,
Although-
it's much easier than you would expect.
Although,
it's
yeah,
much
you
easier
were-
than carrier off.
You were playing Fleet Carrier on a Steam Deck, which surprised me greatly. I do not know how you do it.
Not very well, that's how.
Yeah, I think the first round, KJMC's frontline was just kind of out of
On
position
an
the entire.
adventure.
Yeah, they were on an adventure. The monitor ball that Colon 3 had just put itself in the middle and was able to hold like 4 cap points by being there.
We
through
were kind of
sheer-
horrified. We watched as like 3 Corvettes and a Vauxhall just evaporate, and we're like, all right,
Yeah,
let's
from
just
the
not
monitors.
participate in that.
Yeah. No, the monitors were just able to deny like 4 caps simply just by existing in the middle of the map, which was quite interesting.
What I will say is that Voxel was like a good idea if it had happened at the same time as your front line was pushing on us.
Right.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
I was hoping to like find the
about
carrier.
3 years
I think,
behind.
yeah, I think the Voxel just got unlucky with what it found when it rounded the corner there, because there was an Acello to lock it. There were monitors within plasma range to just tear it apart.
It's the equivalent of trying to shiv somebody while they're carrying a shotgun.
From the drive flares, we thought the carrier was like around there, and I was hoping I would find it before I died.
I see. I wonder what you guys saw. I wonder if you saw, I think Internet's had a 450 liner low. I wonder if you saw that.
That
Maybe.
must have been what it is.
Yeah, I was just doing that down there in case you guys sent anything big to
I
fight
bet-
that,
yeah,
and then you
I
sent
bet
everything.
That's interesting to note as like a little detail to explain the voxel push. I believe you probably saw Internet's liner down there. Yeah, and then the beam Solomon on Valley was also an
It wasn't
interesting.
the map for it.
No, Valley is a very open map between cap
Yeah.
points. 450 is your friend on Valley, or at least something more long ranged.
Yeah.
That's what we did during testing, is we did 450 liner, but we just... mine is kind of outdated,
Oh, I see.
so yeah.
I did notice that you put Mount Gyros on the battleship, though.
I did, thank you.
But yeah, and also, I think it was Chopsticks who had the missile destroyer again.
The creature.
You were able to get missile hits on the voxels. Unfortunately, in all instances where you fired,
Voxels.
they were at the voxels. Acellos, I did it again. Oh my god, I can't. I always do this. In all the cases where you launched against the Acellos, they were always, unfortunately, always broadside to where the missiles were coming from, and so
That's
didn't-
good for the missiles.
They were HEKP.
No.
Oh, wait, they were HEKP. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
those
No.
were the all. I should mention all of the anti-Acello salvos that you had in the destroyer. Oh, unfortunately, were all mistimed, I believe. You did manage to mission kill the rail Acello at the end. You cored its reactors, and it had no restores to bring them back up. But
No restores on a rip.
unfortunately, by then it was too little, too
Oh
late.
yeah, no, the game was Look. over when we lost our cappers.
Oh,
I
wait, oh, God.
now. That was my
Oh, no.
promotion.
That was your promotion. Oh wow! Congratulations,
Let's
internets,
go.
for the rank up. And a very, very awesome point for that. Everyone in chat, give Internet some congratulations for the rank up.
Trying to give you a round of applause, but noise
Congratulations.
canceling is eating it.
Thank you.
And then, so yeah, the first round was definitely a case of ANS's frontline just not being anywhere where it needed to be for the entire game, just out on Safari. The first one was really interesting to watch because, like, nothing happened. Both teams ended with...
Interesting to watch
terms
because
of, like,
it was boring.
In terms of, like, the whole losses, neither side really lost anything. They were all just out on Safari doing whatever, and then Colon 3 took advantage of that and just...
out.
Yeah, Colon 3 just took advantage of that and just grabbed all the cap points and
we,
won.
We couldn't approach the Beam BB. So...
Right, but the Beam BB didn't want to approach you guys either, so it was kind of
Yeah.
a weird dance we saw
To be
there.
perfectly honest, we saw that there was a beam BB down on the bottom, and I said out loud, they have removed themselves from the playable area. Just grab caps.
Yeah, I saw the EO Pike that you had in the area, and I'm like, yeah, they definitely know that's a Beam battleship.
Yeah.
That wasn't an EO Pike.
It was an EO Pike just in the middle.
We had an EO
scouting.
Pike. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had
it
an
was
EO
an EO
Pike on
Pike?
my... Yeah, I have an EO Pike on my liner.
I
In my
didn't
cap
think it-
fleet.
I didn't think it was an EO Pike. Because it didn't get the... Isn't there a notification that's like you're being targeted?
No, the EO Pike does not give you a notification.
It says
if
you're being tracked.
Oh.
Like its whole thing that doesn't give you a notification. Okay, it's part of the thing.
It tells you you're being
Huh.
tracked, but not that you're being locked.
Yeah, there's
I
no...
thought-
Yeah,
well,
it's a very strong asset to have on OSP because of that.
That is really good information, thank you.
Also, the second round, also I think was a little bit down to the front line as well. I think that at the beginning, the Monitor and Acela push onto the A point there was very well done, coinciding with the other two Acelos trading fire with the Axfords. You kind of left the A point completely open. The only thing that was defending it was the Voxels, which were forced to push back because they didn't want to take that engagement. But then,
Thank you, that was my plan.
yeah, that was really the only thing that that ANS had on the A cap there was the Voxels. But then you pushed off of the point. You didn't have any assets on any of your cap points in the back to defend against back caps. And yeah, just like the first match, Colon 3 was just able to take them.
I think, like, in my opinion and my perspective, the largest issue was that you got tunnel visioned on the Axfords and, like, chased them up to sea.
That is true. The monitors,
You could have split your front line off into two groups.
the monitors rushing across the map was, yeah, they just completely abandoned the A point. Monitors are very slow. You do not want to be crossing open space like that if you can avoid it.
Also,
I don't know
who...
what else they could have done there, to be honest.
Right. Yeah. No, they were kind of. They
Maybe
definitely
push to
needed.
D?
They needed to push onto the cap points, but the unfortunate thing is that they didn't have any fast-moving ships to do so.
I'm really mad my carrier got, like, just cored because the only reason it did that was because the craft pathfinding was like, alright, let's just go straight through this wall.
Is that... You mean in the... When I missiled it, or...
Yeah, when you missiled it, I had 100 mil liners going for it, or going for the
100 mil.
Corvette,
Oh, I see. You had 100
Yeah.
mil bombers in the area that you were trying to
Oh.
defend yourself
and
with.
it just went straight into a wall and died
Yeah,
from SDM.
a lot of modded maps have the same problem with it. They don't work with lines
Right.
properly.
This is
yet.
why Arroyo was banned. We banned it because the
Yeah.
out of fuel return to base function for fighter
Carrier,
craft
yeah,
is
they
just
get stuck.
completely messed up on Arroyo.
It's
It's
a
fun-
very common problem with basically every modded map,
Right.
as far as my experience goes.
Might have to talk to Vastal about that on Blood Moon. Maybe we'll talk to some other teams. Because the thing is, this is the first I've heard that Blood Moon specifically has this problem. So,
I know, I think Ruby Shelf isn't great
Ruby
for
Shelf
it.
has it too. That's fair. It'll take a while for the mod developers of maps to get their maps updated for carriers. Get the pathing
Yeah, I
figured
think-
out.
I think that was part of how I lost my carrier. Is I was so consumed with microing around
Microing the craft,
front
yeah.
line that I like there was a call out about the rocket shuttles going from
Right.
my carrier. minutes
Yeah, and
before it
speaking
happened.
of
I
the
just couldn't
rocket
process.
shuttle strike, that moment was a very interesting moment in retrospect because those rocket shuttles, yeah, they took out the carrier, but those were the only shuttles that OSP had left. and they sacrificed themselves to take out the carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced that striking at the carrier was the best move there from those shuttles. Yeah, it definitely helped in the other engagements, but, like, losing your last
Ape
shuttles
carrier.
like that...
Ape kill carrier.
Yeah, losing your last shuttles like that is rather rough, considering that the rest of your fleet is mostly just SLOs and monitors.
I think the biggest issue was probably that I'm a decent cap player, but I was being kind of selfish and was just like, somebody else will pick it up, and just never thought about caps at all.
I see.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I have tons of cap fleets because I do the Nebulous cookbook thing where I just make recipes on
Yeah.
Nebulous
You
fleets.
send me those fleets. I love them, by the way. Keep sending me those.
And they're all cap fleets because that's what you have to do to get all the ingredients. Because they just a lot of ingredients.
Yeah. No. Another. It's interesting you mentioned cap fleets because a lot of I think both times the cap fleets that KJMC brought were all half cap fleets. So they had a very expensive asset and then like 3 or 4 cap assets, which it can work, but the thing you gotta remember is you kind of have to be careful with your assets because if you start losing them, you do not have the numbers to replace them later on.
We just bully Athena into playing caps for us every game.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it
like,
works.
I can play
I
caps, and you're like,
volunteered.
no.
I mean, it
I'll-
works.
No.
You.
I'm the cap player. I literally, when I started building up the team, I was like, I'm gonna play caps. Like that's just how it is.
Well, it's working well for you guys so far.
I think an important thing to note is that so far we've played the exact same comp on OSP twice. We'll see if this tracks or not.
Oh, well, I mean,
It was
it's
the exact same fleets.
you guys
Yeah.
do really good with that comp though. Like, it worked.
I mean, yeah, the extra liner in the cap fleet is.
Oh
Like,
yeah, bringing a liner in
Oh, yeah,
OSP
that
cap
was new.
fleets is very strong, just because of how
Yeah.
cheap OSP cap assets are.
Yeah. I don't get as much I don't get any MMTs though, which is
Right.
kind of awkward.
It's true, you have to rely on your allies for sensors.
We just
I mean,
weren't
I do
sure
have an
what to
EWR,
play on
but
Valley, so we just went default.
Right. Yeah, another thing that we also noticed is that KJMC didn't really have any sensor assets either match.
Yeah,
It was
I realized that like after deployment, I was like, oh,
Yeah, I think the only sensor asset I saw was that in the first round they had a AWACS, but that was about it.
yeah, I brought one sundial.
Yeah, one sundial is not gonna cut it, unfortunately.
Yeah, the combined arms fleet that has the braille detachment, I have a variant of it that's just two, what are the fucking, spyglass, that's what the word is. Just spyglass guys, and they just go around. I just didn't choose them, though, because I forgot.
Oh, it's fine. Happens to the best of us. We've all had matches where we've brought the wrong fleet. For the comp, at least. But yeah, I would like to congratulate Colon 3 for their excellent performance, and congratulate them for moving on in the tournament. You guys played really well today.
The second game was a bit more messy, honestly, but yeah.
yeah.
You guys held on. You got it.
That was alright. I've had further apart games